Hello everyone and welcome for another video of Love and Wargame. Today we have the luck of going to play at the French Wargame Cafe in Paris. So thanks to them for letting us play here. We have a quite good setup today because they have lights and stuff. However, there might be some noise outside. I hope the recording will be great. We're trying to make the table a little bit further away. Everything should be fine. Today I am joined by Zongo, our best, most ancient Imperium player. He's been playing since the second version, at least. Here we come to you for 2,000 points battle report 1 versus 1. It's been requested that for these battles that are played in the context of our narrative campaign in Paris, we tell a little bit more about what is going on. So before we go to explain the lists and the scenario, first a little explanation about why these two factions, the Crown and the Imperium, are fighting today.
Following the previous battle that is now known as the Clash of the Titans, the Imperium is now on the back foot. They have lost their Ice Maiden supercarrier and are now on a more defensive position, especially since the Commonwealth started to attack their land possessions here and they are fighting a defensive war. Smelling blood in the water, the British forces of Task Force Mordred coordinated with the Crown's 5th Fleet here to make a coordinated onslaught on Kaiser's Pride, which is the main Imperium base in the region. They launched their attack simultaneously, and the Task Force Mordred sent a large force, but as they were passing next to these islands that belonged to the Commonwealth, they received a distress signal. Apparently, some Russian colonies were under a raid from Scandinavian reavers. Thus, the Crown of the Task Force Mordred did decide to investigate, thanks to their newly signed treaty with the Commonwealth and especially with the White Flotilla. And upon arriving on the site, they were shocked to see that the reavers were all destroyed and without any trace of the attackers, while the Russian colony did not have enough forces to push back such an assault. At the same time, little did they know that the Prussians also did send a fleet to investigate following the distress call of the Scandinavians. The invasion force of Task Force Mordred was intercepted there and decided to face the Prussians head-on, knowing that if they managed to destroy the Prussian investigation group, they would have a free way to go all the way to Kaiser's Pride. At the same time, the Crown's 5th Fleet sent its force, and this is a battle that happened on another table that we received from our friends at the War Host community. And this offensive was sent also against Kaiser's Pride, and a large 5th Fleet battle group was sent and was intercepted by a large Prussian carrier group. Both fleets were loaded with the troops, and both were trying to go behind the enemy lines in order to land some troops. We will see at the end of the battle which of these two fleets won this decisive engagement. Now that we've seen the set for these two battles, let's focus on the investigation on what happened on the Scandinavian Reaver Fleet, and the battle between the Task Force Mordred and the Imperium Investigation Group. Now to the presentation of the lists.
Okay, so first we will explain this 2,000 points Imperium force. Do note that some of the miniatures are from the second version of the game, and but we will explain you what is what exactly. Zongo, what is your fleet?
So as much Imperium forces, my army is split in two parts. So the first part is supposed to attack the enemy, and the second part provides long-range firepower. So in this department, we have, of course, the 3 Augustus bombardment cruiser. So these guys are really good. They have big guns and torpedoes, so yeah, really necessary to have them at 2,000 points. Also have 2 support cruisers, 2 support carriers, so provide additional SRS, which is always good. And we have this big Sky Fortress, so we're going to play this thing using the new rules for the Stark Imperium Fortress, Sky Fortress. But I do know this is not a Prussian Sky Fortress, it is V2 Black Wolf Sky Fortress.
But it looks like a Sky Fortress.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
it
fine.
is. It is
So it is-
undoubtedly in the Sky Fortress.
It is the classic Stark Imperium. It's not the Prince usual.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't have the points
okay.
to get in the Prince region.
Okay.
Sadly.
I see
And we have the big Kaiser battleship.
the Big Daddy, as we said the last video.
Yeah, Big Daddy Admiral's ship. So, and I have an escort token with it. So again, the escort token hasn't been released for the Imperium already.
Yep,
So,
unfortunately.
unfortunately. So, and I'm playing as well 4 Munich aerial destroyers.
Okay.
These guys seems really nasty with a lot of gun of firepower with the autocan, so I wanted to try them out. To be honest, it seems a bit OP, but
Yeah.
we're gonna see what they
Except against the Commonwealth, because the
do.
ablative
Yeah,
armor
maybe the
hurts them
Ablative
very
armor,
much.
yeah.
Okay.
As for every destroyer, yeah. I also brought a big unit of 8 frigates because I wanted to try it out. What a max-sized unit of
Yeah,
frigates
8
could do.
Arminius, right?
8 Arminius, so these guys are really among the best frigates in the games, and there are 8 of them, so hopefully they will have some impact. And so we're gonna
Okay.
see what goes in.
All right.
And I also really wanted to brought 2 big Knights robots because I love this. So we have one Hochmeister, so the really close quarter combat setup. And we have one Metzger, which is most run-in setup, but still good at close quarter combat.
Okay.
And, a bit of
And it has a generator. Which generator is
Oh
it?
yeah, I've brought a Fury generator
Oh, no, of
to
course.
improve.
Of course,
to
okay.
improve the boarding
All right.
capabilities.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my list.
That is 2,000 points of Imperium. Let's now see what will be in front in the Crown side. And now the Crown fleet, the British forces. I do not have yet painted the newest miniatures for the Sturginium skies, but I just received these nice carriers, so we will try them today. There are 2 battle fleets, British support and British frontline battle fleets. The British frontline is composed of this Britannia with a lot of different guns, so I can get all the bonuses possible. Also here an Albion that will be attached with also a heavy gun battery and a Trident generator to boost the torpedoes around, giving them homing. Same battle fleet, there are a single squadron of 4 Excalibur heavy destroyers, quite powerful, lots of gun batteries, good torpedoes, very well. There is also a single squadron of 2 Lancelot. These are really going to be my frontline brawlers. They are very powerful, very good, heavy broadside, great. And the last unit is going to be the last surface unit. Sorry, no, this is another actually battlefield. So that's it. But there are also in the frontline squadron 3 Morgana's submarines. Those are really devastating in a ramming action, thanks to their little chainsaw, yeah. And they also have great torpedo game. So if they can stay in range of the Trident generator, that would be great. Then we have a single British support battle fleet, so composed of the Victory, not the Arc Royal, as is often seen. I gave it 2 torpedoes to the front so it can do some damage while staying far away from the enemy. Attached is a single Albion, also with a Trident generator and a torpedo turret in the front. Those little Caliburns, I use them as escort tokens, because the Caliburns are not that good right now, and there are no escort tokens yet for the Crown either, so Caliburns do the job. And there is also a single Albion cruiser with torpedoes and a Guardian generator in the back, also meant to stay back and keep some protection in the rear. And finally, a single squadron of 3 Hotspur support carriers. I paid them the upgrade for the number 1 squadron. Hopefully they will do the job. As you can see, the list as a whole is more meant as we hold the front line and we kill them from far away with torpedoes and SRS. He will have to come closer to me and try to ram me with the robots to try to do enough damage. Though, one thing I need to be afraid of is I have a lot of torpedoes, but those airships, I cannot target them with torpedoes. So there will be a little game of target priority about this. We will set up the table and explain to you the scenario. And here is the table. We finished deploying. The crown has the initiative. As we've seen, this region used to belong to the Russians. It has been pillaged by some Scandinavian reavers, but the reavers have mysteriously been slaughtered by who knows, probably someone wave lurking below the waves. And thus, the Imperium comes as reinforcements, while the Crown brings some help to their Russian allies. The scenario will be played using the oil rig rules. We have the first oil rig here from the second edition. And the second oil rig, because we have only one for now, will be this island, specifically, with the Ragnarok on it. It's gonna be the classical oil rig scenario, except at the end of each turn, after we see who controls what, we're gonna roll a dice for each of these oil rigs, and on a counter or heavy counter, some of the ambushers that are still below the waves will emerge and start to attack anybody nearby. We have a little roll to see what kind of unit can emerge from the waves. We will see if it does happen during this game. There is a chance that it will not happen at all. Now that we have seen the scenario, let's have a look at the deployment. First, Zongo, can you explain to us how you deployed here?
Okay, so the main objective here is to take advantage of the fact that my opponent split his force in two parts. So we're trying first thing to just destroy this his left flank with one heavy carrier and his escorting ships. So for that purpose we have 3 Augustus bombardment cruisers and 4 aerial destroyers, which have a really enormous firepower. So hopefully I'll be able to cripple the carrier as soon as possible. And on the other flank, as usual you might say, I've put my frigates. So the objective is to maintain some threat on his right flank, and hopefully to capture the objective at one point. I also have two big robots in reserve, so these should enter one day and wreak havoc in my main midline.
Yeah, turn 2 at the latest.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now we can have a look at the crown deployment. So indeed, I was a little bit baited. I started to push too much on this flank because I really wanted to secure my island. So I started to pile my close combat monsters. I was really afraid that some of the units would hide here and I would not be able to go and pick them up. So I have a lot of heavy gun batteries here, but since there is only these frigates, they will be able to pivot later and go on the left flank. Also here hidden are my 3 Hotspurs. They will stay hidden until the time is right. They have some torpedoes and of course some SRS. I'm counting on them, especially to take care of the aerial units of my opponent. And finally, I have a little block here with the Victory and its 4 escort tokens, as well as an attached Albion for some good torpedo firepower. Also the 3 Morganas, which I'm really counting on to do a lot of damage, especially in the Augustus. And finally, a single Albion here, which will also help on the first turn, and it will probably stay in the back to be ready to help in case there is some Hochmeisters coming at some point. But yeah, these I'm counting on them to do some long range damage, and the right flank will very fast come to help the carriers before the Prussians get too close. So this is the scenario for today on the table. Hopefully it will be fun and there will be some wave lurking opponents appearing at some point or the other. Let's go for the first activation of the first turn. First activation of the turn, the Crown has deployed its 3 Morgana assault submarines. They are all of them in range of the Trident generator of the Albion, and they are going to focus all their fire, 23 dices, on this Augustus on the right. My hope is that I can cripple it before it gets to activate, so I can reduce my opponent's firepower. 23 dices with homing should be efficient, and let's remember that I also have no, I don't have a reroll for them, so yes, I do, because they're in the right team. I'm sorry, I put them in the squadron where they can have the command override. Yeah. So let's see how it happens. Not yeah, no. It's quite a lot of double, and I already have homing, so I will keep this roll. Yeah, not so great. Two explosives. Okay, that's a lot of twos though. So that is 26 hits in total. He will get his defenses. Minus 3, 23. Okay, so the Augustus has only 5 of armor, so he takes 4 points of damage, crippling it. Mission accomplished. And there is going to be also a critical. I would like an explosion. Sturgeon Flare.
Oh,
so it goes forward, and I think there is a disorder. I don't remember. No, it's another. It's extra point of damage, and no, it's the one on the right. So
your right or my?
My right. Sorry. Okay. So this one goes forward. It takes a 5th point of damage, and yeah, it's good. Good job, my little Morganas. Obviously, the next activation is the 3 Augustus. Unfortunately, I couldn't damage it from like 1 or 2 points. I almost killed it, but it was not enough. So he declared heavy firepower. Oh no, first things first. I tried to make a second activation to finish him off. 58 points. He had to use 2 cards with Fortunes of War to counter this. Otherwise, I would have been able to activate a second unit, and for sure one of the Augustus would have been destroyed. Then he burnt a 3rd card that we see here to use heavy firepower. That is quite powerful. That should have been 30 dices with devastating, so a lot. I used all 18 dices of my Guardian Generator pool to reduce it to 12 with devastating. Still a lot, but it should not be able to damage too much my Albion here. And the idea is that those guys will for sure do a lot of damage on my big victory. I cannot do much to counter that, but I accept the damage on this guy. I really don't want to lose my Trident Generator there for the next turn. So that's going to be 12 dices from the Augustus Bombards with devastating. I'm very happy. 1 explosive. Okay. Putain. It was
7.
It was a good idea to to use all the Guardian Generators. So that is going to be only 1 point of damage. Not a critical. It's not hazardous or anything. I'm very happy. And now the torpedoes. Also on the Albion. Much better. Not 1 explosive. There, 13 dices. And I reduce by 1, so 12. So yeah, it is a critical. It is a critical hit. And yeah, and 2 points of damage. 3 points of damage in total. Let's roll the critical. And now we roll the critical for the Albion. What will he suffer? Navigation lock. It's fine. It's okay. Okay, now before this guy gets crippled, by the way, he has only 1 hull point left. Let's not cheat. So before this guy gets crippled, I moved forward the victory and the attached Albion and all the little battle group. I put 5 SRS token on this Munich and 5 on this Munich, so 10-10. Hoping I can reach the citadel of 10 minus 3, 7. So it should be doable. Even though there is this big daddy with a lot of flag broadsides. We will see how it goes. For now, there's going to be 18 dices of torpedoes with homing on this already crippled Augustus. Statistically, I should be able to do something. Let's have a look how it happens. 18 dices with homing, as we said. Ouh, ça c'est pas bon. Okay, so command override on this, because it was really bad. It's a little bit better.
Much better.
3 from homing.
4. Oh, okay. And then 4.
And then 4 explosives. Okay. So this is 20 hits. He needs to remove at least 6 if he wants to survive. No.
Et là, je fais des explosifs. Évidemment.
Okay, so that's going to be critical as well. Even though the Augustus is destroyed, maybe an explosion? No, not at all. But still, there is 1 big threat removed. I'm quite happy. And now we go to the Imperium's activation. We have made a few other activations without filming. It was not very decisive. First of all, these Arminius have come here to stay hidden out of line of sight of everything except maybe the Excaliburs here. We will see later what happens for them. Then this Albion moved forward just from its drift and used its torpedo turret and torpedo salvo to do 1 point of damage on the Conrad. The Conrads then activated. They put 4 SRS tokens here and 4 there to try to help the Munich to survive from the air attack, okay? And then they did a disappointing torpedo salvo on the Morgana here. They didn't manage to even do a single point of damage. So yeah, 3 small activations. Let's go for the next one. The Crown then activated these 4 Excaliburs. Nothing was in range of the Arminius except 1 gun battery, which of course did nothing. But then they all will unleash their torpedo salvos on the Kaiser Elector all the way there. It is strong, but its ablative armor will not help against 18 dices with Giant Slayer, so rerolling blanks. Hopefully it will be useful. Rerolling the blank. No. Then there is 2 explosive rolls.
C'est vrai, t'as encore fait n'importe quoi, Philippe.
Right. Okay, so that is 20 hits. Quite efficient. Now there is 7 dices to try. 8 dices.
Ah, non, c'est franche.
Okay. Oh, bah attends, moins 8.
12.
12. So that is 1 point of damage. Good defense roll. And now we will see the first activation of the Munich Aerial Destroyer. That is 28 dices with sustained and voltaic, all going on this poor Albion with a Trident generator. I'm not sure he will end the turn.
I hope not.
28 dices sustained. Okay.
Let's reroll the
Okay,
shield.
so he's rerolling the single counters. Bah, ça va. That is going to be 3 explosives. Oh, bah ça arrive. So that is 24 dices, 24 hits in total. That is a catastrophic explosion and a lot of damage already. 4 damages plus catastrophic explosion. It's 6. Oh my god. We rolled the critical. It was generated offline. We don't care. This poor Albion has just been obliterated by this Munich Aerial Destroyer. They are extremely efficient.
And I'm gonna play a victory card.
Oh.
So destroy mass 2 unit in shooting attack. And score +1 victory.
Eh ben, indeed. First victory points of the game. 1 for the Imperium. The Lancelot activated. They didn't have much in range. The one on the right sent torpedoes on the Kaiser Elector, doing absolutely nothing. The one on the left sent its torpedoes on the Conrad here, doing 1 point of damage. It's only 1 point away from being crippled. And then the 2 forward heavy gun batteries linked, shooting on this Munich Aerial Destroyer. It has a citadel of 10. I got 12 hits. It's already gone. So that is 1 less Munich heavy destroyer. Yeah, let's go now for the big daddies of the Imperium. And finally, the Stark Imperium Fortress activates. It first deployed all its SRS token on this Hotspur here. So that is, yeah, quite threatening. And then it's going to use its Flak Wirling Uber Sturm.
German thing.
Yeah, this German
Super
stuff.
German thing.
12 dice with sustain on my victory. And then it will have some autocannon. First, sustained 12 dices. Okay,
Sustain,
sustain, but deux.
reroll.
So these 2 are being re-rolled. And
Then
2
I have
explosives.
2 explosives.
Okay.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, ça fait un point de dégâts.
Okay, that is a single point of damage on the victory, but let's remember that in the new version of the Orbats, the carriers can be crippled relatively fast, so I am threatened.
And then 17 dices
Without
from the other
yeah,
autocannon.
yeah, all the autocannons, without sustained or anything. That is 3 explosives. Okay.
Another point.
Yeah, 2 points of damage from this Stark Imperium. Not a very hot rolling from the Imperium player.
As usual.
Okay, so I activated my Hotspurs because it's turn 1. I need to do things before the big Prussian robots arrive. So I exposed them. First, I put 6 SRS token in defense with a Defiant Tail Gunner on my Hotspurs. They are the Crown tokens, the British tokens are good at defending, so that's what I'm counting on. And I put also 6 SRS token there, hoping to at least cripple this Conrad, so he has less SRS token next turn. Also, since they arrived there, I am now in range of, for example, the Augustus, or I could even be in range of the Conrad, actually. Actually, I am also in range of the Conrad.
Yeah.
What? Okay, I'm gonna put actually all my... no, let's keep on the Augustus. Yeah, because I'm really threatened by these big gun batteries.
You are.
Yes, 14 dices, no rerolls of any kind. And 12 hits. 11.
11, so that's
Citadel.
2 points of...
Yeah, 2 points of damage, and Citadel...
no, it's 12.
Okay, so that is 2 points of damage. That is already something. Last classic activation of the Prussians before the robots arrive. The Elector Kaiser arrives. He threw his torpedoes on this Albion doing nothing. And now he's going to put all his firepower. He used his last card for heavy firepower on this Hotspur. It is a lot of dices. How many dices?
23.
Okay, so let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 3 explosives. Putain, ouais, not great. Not great. Okay, 15. So that is 2 points of damage and 1 critical, which is going to be a navigation lock. Okay. Yeah, I don't care that much. Okay, and it's on this one specifically. Let's hope that the Prussian fighters will be more efficient. Last activation for the Crown. The Britannia has made some funky maneuvers, getting a disorder token for full reverse in order to optimize the firing angle. All the torpedoes from the Britannia and the Albion, which is just at the limit of 4 inches for activation coherency. All the torpedoes will go on the Kaiser Elector, as well as all the heavy gun batteries. What's happened is I burned a card for heavy firepower. The Imperium does not have cards anymore, so he could not counter this with Fortune of War. Thanks to Lion-Hearted Crew or Royal Engineers, I think it is. I got +1 to my lead value, making it 3 heavy gun batteries at 10. So it's supposed to be 30 dices, -2 for ablative armor, because there is 2 supporting weapons. That is going to be 28 dices on the Kaiser Elector before the torpedoes. Let's have a look how it happens. Oh, c'est pas beau.
Ouais, il y a 4 messages.
Like 4 explosives. I don't have any reroll. I have to accept it anyway. Okay, and another 2 explosives. Okay, and that's it. Yeah. Actually, little correction. The ship is obscured, so no explosive. -4 because there were 2 additional explosives. That is 14 instead of 18. Only 1 hull point of damage. A little bit disappointing for the heavy gun batteries, but now let's have a look for the torpedoes. 15 torpedoes, re-rolling the blanks here. And I have 3 explosives. Not that great. 15 hits. Now let's have a look at the SDV.
Pardon.
That is 9 hits in total. Another hull point gone on the Kaiser Elector. And now the time we've all been waiting for. We will roll for the activation on first turn of the giant Prussian robots. First, the Metzger.
The Metzger, so the little one.
So it needs an explosive. Nope.
It doesn't.
Just a hit. And now the Hochmeister.
The Hochmeister. No,
Oh, I saw the explosive. Okay.
Yeah, I felt it as well.
Yeah, it was unlikely, but whew. Okay, they will come on turn 2. And now we will count the points. Yeah, SRS token resolution. First of all, first things first, the Stark Imperium will use its flag broadside not on the Munich, but to help the Conrad. 10 dices. Every explosive will remove 1 of the token.
Yeah, let's go. So that's 1 explosive.
1 token, okay. Only 5 SRS token on the Conrads. Okay, we resolved the interceptions and the broadside, etc. So what happened? 1 token was removed here from the flag broadside. Not that good. He said that he didn't need the flag broadside here. Well, actually he removed only 1 token here, so 4 remain. And 2 tokens here, 3 remain. I will have weight of fire in every case. However, here, the defense went really well. And actually, in total, 6 SRS token were removed thanks to the good air defense and the aircraft coming. So only 2 tokens remain. They will not have the benefit of the weight of fire. Let's begin with this to see if the Hotspur is crippled. That is 6 dices. Yeah, no. Unfortunately, they have armor of 6. That is that is sad. Yeah, the Prussian flag is not holding strong today. Let's have a look at what happens on the other side of the table. We will start with the number 1 squadron attacking the Conrad. They have weight of fire, so rerolling blank, and sustained because they have they are the number 1 squadron. So they will be rerolling another type of dice. Let's have a look. 15 dices. So
Normal.
yeah, I will reroll the shields and the blanks. So that is 5 dices to reroll. Okay. And I have 1, 2, 3 explosives. Oh, almost out of dice. Okay. So I have 20 hits. That is 3 points of damage, crippling the Conrad. And also a critical damage. That is going to be another point of damage. So 4 in total. And he moves forward. Oh, does he actually impact the island? No, it's okay.
No.
For those who don't speak French, he says that he has only 2 hull points left before this Conrad is destroyed. Okay, now let's get rid of the Munich aerial destroyers. First, 4 SRS token on the one, the most on the right. 12 dices with weight of fire, rerolling blanks. No blank. That is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, that is enough because they have a citadel of 10, minus 3 because of piercing, and that's it. But that was not such a good roll. And we now roll for the second Munich aerial destroyer. 9 dice only this time, so let's hope for a better roll. Oi, oi, oi. Rerolling blanks. Pas besoin? Pas besoin? Pas besoin? Okay. Yeah, it is already dead. They are very powerful but very fragile. A little bit like Prussian Stolitovs. Okay, so we got some points because we both control the oil rig in our part of the terrain. However, now you remember that there are some unseen force below the waters, so we will roll. If there is a counter or a heavy counter, there are going to be some units appearing around the oil rig at 3 inches from the oil rig and immediately doing their attacks as if it was like unexpected arrival. So I will roll first, or you want to roll first maybe, Ali? I need a counter or a heavy counter for this. Nope, nothing happens. And here we'll roll. Nope, not this turn. Everything is fine. Nobody does any jury-rigged repairs. We will refill. No, first I will take the initiative. I will burn a card to gain the initiative because he does not have a card yet. So I will have initiative turn 2. And let's meet for the beginning of the second turn. First activation of the second turn, I activated the Hotspurs first before they get crippled. They put their 12 SRS tokens on the Stark Imperium because I would like to start to take some hull points down and also because it's always cool to have an air battle. Then they all linked their broadsides. So it was like 7 hits minus 2 for ablative armor because I tried to hit the Elector and I actually did a point of damage. That is quite quite a shame for the Elector. And now all the torpedoes of the Hotspurs are linking and shooting at this Conrad who has 2 hull points left. I only need to do like 12 hits to destroy it. Yeah, let's roll. Okay, I got 3 explosives. No rerolls of any kind. Apart from that. 14. 14, that could be enough to kill it. SDV. Yeah, it's dead. It's dead, and I'm rolling an explosive, critical, in case there is, what is the name? An explosion? No, there is not. But there is 1 less Conrad. Very well. Okay, so the answer of the Imperium is to move with this Augustus. They a little bit slided to do a broadside on a Morgana, doing nothing. He did explosive, but they are obscured, being submerged. So no explosive, no damage. And now he's going to put everything on this unit of Hotspurs. The first attack is going to be with a single Augustus bombard. And the difference is going to be that I will let this first attack go at full strength without using anything from the Guardian generator pool. because I would like to see how powerful it's going to be. Well, I well, I didn't need much. One explosive. Eh ben, another explosive. And another explosive. Ah ben voilà. Il suffit de demander. 15. So that is going to be 2 points of damage and a critical and an explosion. So everybody around takes a point of damage, including this guy. So it means that he took 3 points of damage in total, the main guy, meaning he has 3 whole points left before being destroyed. Now the second attack of the Augustus Bombard, I will not use any of the Guardian Generator again. That is 2 explosives. Right, 13. So another critical.
And 2 points.
Yeah. He might kill it outright. No, it does not kill it. It has 1 whole point left with all the torpedoes. He might survive yet with all the torpedoes. He has 1 whole point left. And now the last whole point of the Hotspur. Let's see if he dies with the torpedoes. 2 explosive. Okay. 8 might be enough to sink it. Maybe not. Let's have a look at the defense roll.
No, 2.
2, 6. It's exactly what was needed to sink it. So goodbye, Hotspur. You were brave and useful. Boop. The next activation, now that the Augustus are not a threat to me for this turn, I activated my 3 Morgana assault submarines, putting them in closing range of the Elector Kaiser. That's going to be 26 dices with Giant Slayer, so we're rolling blank. That is already quite good. And especially what is going to happen, I'm going to tell him, okay, if you go somewhere in the middle here to shoot at my other units, I will ram you for sure and deal terrible damage. So first, let's have a look on the actual damage that I will do to him with my torpedoes. 26 dices with rerolling blanks. Good for me to reroll blanks. Rerolling blanks. And 2 explosives. 3 explosives. Okay. So that is 20 hits on the Kaiser Elector. Now the SDV.
So 8 dices. Which do 7. So that's 13 dices.
13. That's gonna be a single point of damage. Good defensive roll from the Imperial. And just a single point of damage, but little by little is going to sink. The Conrad here activated before he took too much damage, and he put all his SRS token to help protect the Stark Imperium. That's going to be one nice air battle that will happen at the end of the round. And then on my side, I activated this Albion with its torpedo turret and its torpedo salvo. It did a cheeky little point of damage on the Kaiser Elector, which is closer and closer to being crippled. The Kaiser Elector is coming. He went right here and he's gonna shoot everywhere. Broadsides here, broadsides there, torpedoes on the Albion. Its storm generator will shoot on the Victory, and that's already a lot. I know all the cannons are going. I think.
No, on the Hotspur.
Okay, on the Hotspur. Everything on the Hotspur, right. So what happened is the Hotspur used all the pools of the Guardian generators on the cannon, hoping to not be crippled. There is 17 dices less for the Guardian generators. I don't have other attacks that I really want to remove, because all of the others coming from the other units are going to the Arc. So that is only going to be 6 dices from the heavy firepower of the Elector. Par quoi tu commences?
Heavy broadside.
Heavy broadside
on the Hotspur.
On the Hotspur, okay.
Reroll blue.
Yep.
Then reroll the 2 explosive.
Yep.
1 explosive.
Eh ben.
1 explosive.
Eh ben putain.
1 explosive.
Ben enculé.
1 explosive.
Pardon.
You see what it does?
Putain.
So that's
Ah ouais.
10,
Statistiquement,
20, 25.
I think it's. Is it dead? No, it's not dead. 25. It's 4. Yeah, it's. 4 points of damage plus 6. Yeah, it is dead. Straight. Okay.
Plus 1 crit.
Yeah, vas-y.
It is not.
And not an explosion. But yeah, it was just one shot by the heavy broadside. Okay, goodbye, my little one. Okay, now the heavy broadside on the Morgana, no explosive, so it should...
Trying to do as well.
No explosive because it is obscured
Yeah, but reroll of the blue.
Yeah.
Good roll as well.
Yeah. So that is going to be at least 2 points of damage and a
10.
critical roll.
16.
So 3 points of damage
damage
and a critical.
Which is
-2 speed, -2 citadel. Okay.
uh,
Okay. Now 5 dices of.
the turrets, the heavy turrets that have been reduced
yeah.
by the Guardian Generator.
Yeah, going on this
Yeah.
Hotspur
So
now
you can shoot
because it's the
with
same
the
unit, so
Hotspur.
the attacks do go from one to the other. An explosive. No. Okay, good. It allowed me to save the second Hotspur with this Guardian Generator pool. I hope to save the first one, I saved the second one. Still good. And now the torpedoes from the Kaiser Elector on the Albion. 12 dices. Okay. Okay, so 13 hits. I hope to prevent the critical hit. Nope. So that is going to be a critical hit and 2 points of damage.
Okay, so it's crippled.
Not crippled, but it's a 3 point.
Crippled with two.
Torpedo sur les
Ah non,
émissions.
pardon,
Okay.
c'était l'autre.
So it goes forward 2 inches and it takes 3 points of damage.
So probably it could be boarded.
Little annoying thing, this means that the Albion is now in range of being boarded by the Kaiser Elector. That's gonna hurt. And now the Storm Generator attack goes on the Victory. Let's have a look what happens.
Nothing.
Eh ben putain rien. Mais,
Nothing at all.
but he gets a defensive bonus because there is a lot of clouds and electrical things, blah blah blah. They're very gothic, these Prussians. And so it means that heavy hits count as single hit when targeting the Kaiser Elector. So now we will see the boarding of the Kaiser Elector on the Albion. 16 dices here, rerolling blanks. 16 dices here, rerolling blanks, but yeah, he's got the power of the explosives. Oh, putain.
Okay, alors.
Okay.
Let me tell you.
We said power of the explosives, where are they? Okay, so it was so bad, he's gonna use a command card. Valor card.
So full reroll.
Okay, you will reroll.
So let's go. It's much
Better,
better.
You get-
I have Electro, which is useless there.
Yeah, but you
But
get
you
to
have two
reroll.
explosives.
2 rerolls. 2 explosives, sorry. Bah putain.
Two explosives as
Ah,
well.
tu me le refais? Non,
Okay.
ça va. There is 22 hits from the Kaiser Elector. I have 16 dices in defense. Let's see how it happens. Oh, absolutely not. 4, 5, 7. So there is 9 points of differences or more, which means I get already 2 catastrophic explosions, meaning 4 points of damage, plus I go straight to the black. It means it has 2 hull points before it is crippled, and it is already in the black level of chaos and disarray. Ouch. Okay, so in the end, he's at chaos and disarray. He took a lot of damage, and he has 1 hull point left. And yeah, it's really not going well for him. Whether he lives or not, it doesn't matter very much because he will not be able to do much damage. But hey, at least he survived. Hey. Next activation, these 4 Excaliburs went here, staying close, so they could stay in range of the objective. And they sunk 2 of those 8 Arminius frigates. So a good little activation, well done. Wow, this Munich aerial destroyer came. It did all the shots on the Hotspur, doing 1 point of damage, but not a critical. And he did a boarding action on the Albion, finishing off this poor guy that was really on the brink of death. A lot of damage from this single aerial destroyer. Next activation is going to be the Lancelot trying to get some revenge on the Kaiser Elector. First they shot some torpedoes here, didn't do anything, unfortunately. Then the heavy broadside are going to be on this Kaiser Elector, we will see it in a moment. First, all the gun batteries, heavy, small, everyone are shooting on the Stark Imperium. It is considered to be 1 bent width range further, so it's going to be at long range. That's going to be 19 dices, rerolling blanks because it is lumbering. And hopefully it will do some good stuff. Sorry.
Bim.
Bah ça va. Rerolling blanks. Ça me fait combien? Okay, just so you know, when I defended from the boarding, I did a roll like this with a lot of explosive. It didn't save me against the boarding, but here, offensively, it is nice. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 explosives.
Ouais, quand même. Hein.
Okay, so 7 explosives. Another explosive.
Okay.
Okay, so these Lancelot did in total 5 points of damage between the 3 points of damage and the catastrophic explosion. He also goes he takes a point of disorder, going to yellow, and he takes critical damage, which is going to be -2 to its citadel and its speed, and another point of disorder. So he is going to be straight to the red. And yeah, I think I know what's gonna be the next activation. Something that I need to say before, I am less than 5 inches from the center of the board with this +2 unit, so this is gonna give me a 3rd victory point, very well. And also I'm gonna do my heavy broadside here. Lots of things happening here. -1 because of ablative armor, 14 dices, rerolling blues, so counters and heavy counters because of fusillade. Though double hits count as single hits because of this Prussian storm generator. So 14 hits.
Oh.
Putain.
Philippe,
Rerolling blues.
calme-toi.
Ça c'est la journée des Georstats.
C'est pas la vie des gens.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5 explosives. I'm running out of dices. Another explosive.
C'est
Eh ben, plutôt propre. Though heavy hits count as single hits. So let's calculate all of this. So now that the Elector suffered 2 hull points of damage, it gets also a critical. I hope to cripple it with this. Yeah, Sturgeon Flare. He goes forward 3 points and takes another point of damage, meaning he is crippled and he's now, a little bit out of range for the ramming action of the Morgana. We will see how this goes. The Imperium strikes back. The Stark Imperium sent all its SRS token in defense of himself. Probably a smart decision. However, it's shooting. First, he had a heavy broadside, a heavy flag broadside that finished off the Morgana. Then it had autocannon that went here, killing off this poor thing. And also, now it's a storm generator also going on him. And finally, he did 2 points of damage and a critical on the Victory with its frontal, like German thing, like Uberflag. Voilà, this one. So yeah, pretty good activation from the start, Imperium. The Victory himself activated before he gets crippled too much. So what he did 1 point of damage with its 2 forward torpedo turrets on the Augustus here. It's soon to be crippled. Then he declared its heavy broadside on the Elector. By the way, he gets +4 to its lead value because of these little tokens of escort. There's going to be 14 dice as rolling blues. And then he declared its rear rocket on the Elector as well. So let's roll 14 dice rolling blues, hoping to get a cripple defense or something like this. Who knows? Rerolling blues. Okay, 2 explosives.
Yeah.
So because he has this, it made 12 hits in total because he still has his little shield shroud from the storm generator. Let's hope the rockets will be a little bit more efficient. And now 9 dices of heavy rocket battery on the Elector.
Bof.
Okay. The Arminius activated and did a lot of damage. First, they killed this guy with broadsides easily. Then they did a boarding action. It did not finish off this Excalibur, but it went straight to the black between the boarding plus being voltaic plus this critical roll, but it's still there. And especially the crazy roll that they did is they almost one-shotted this guy, doing 7 points of damage in a single activation with their Volt gun batteries. And yeah, he's still there, luckily, so I will still be able to use the torpedo turrets, the Trident generator, sorry. But yeah, that was difficult. And now for the last Crown activation of the turn. So my Britannia activated. I decided to send the attached unit its own way. It had a generator offline anyway, by the way, because the weapon that gave him a critical was voltaic. A little bit sad. he did absolutely nothing, this poor Albion that is crippled. The heavy torpedo salvo of the Britannia did a single point of damage on an Arminius. The heavy broadside of the Britannia did nothing here. But now, it's with the heavy firepower from this card, I will throw 30 dice, -2 because of ablative armor. Everything on the Elector Kaiser. I need at least a 16 to sink it. Please, please, please. And 5 explosive hits. Doing another explosive hit. Okay, let's count. And that is enough. Not too much, not too much. It was quite close. And the Elector Kaiser goes down. Thank you, Britannia. This was close, but now it's going to be the end of the turn. But is it? Is it really?
Two activations left.
I think there is a little bit more coming this way. Ouch. The Hauschmeister is coming. He appeared in the rear of the Victory, obviously. And yeah, he's going to try to ram it. It's going to be, for the first ramming attack, 22 dices. Voltaic, obviously, and sustained. Or no, just a rerolling blanks, but good as well. 22 dices, because this guy is just... Boom, boom. Aye.
He is massive.
Yeah.
So 22 dices, reroll of the blanks. Nice. Of course, I have 2 blanks only.
It's a good defensive roll.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you have 2 explosives?
3.
3.
3 explosives.
And 2 more.
To 2 more.
And 1 more, putain.
It's getting
Evan?
better.
Let's count. So now the Hauschmeister will try to board the Victory. He has 19 dices offensively, rerolling blanks, because elite crew. Rerolling blanks, 3 rerolls, plus 3 explosives.
And
Okay.
3 explosives.
Yeah, and the 3 explosives. Okay.
Not so
And the Victory tries to save itself. 22 dices in defense, rerolling blanks.
Oops.
This is going to be 9+ differences, so 2 catastrophic explosion. He will go to the black and then further, because he gets 2 catastrophic explosion. So we will already take 2 points of damage for this, plus...
4 points of damage.
Plus, so 6 points, yeah, 6 points of damage in total. That hurts. And he goes straight to the black.
Plus 1 because since my boarding is voltaic.
Okay, so even further, okay. So he has 1 whole points left because it's voltaic, so we go even further in panicking mode. Okay. And the critical damage from the boarding action actually did another point of damage on the Victory because it is a Sturgeonian player and it pushed the Victory forward. By the way, the Victory lost 2 escort tokens because he got 2 catastrophic explosions, so he's really not feeling well. And that is already a very, very good activation from the Hauschmeister, doing something like 9 damages on the Victory. And the second robot appeared here, charging the Excalibur. He was tempted to try to finish off the Victory, but he really wanted to get the points from this because he's less than 3 inches from the island, so it will give him 4 points at the end of this turn. So yeah, that is quite convenient for him. Let's have a look at the rolling action now. The ramming action, sorry.
So you're destroyed?
Wait, he did not. Okay, he's dead 10 times. Boop. The Metzger absolutely obliterated the first Excalibur, but its shooting was a bit disappointing. It did not manage to kill this Albion. Sad, but it was using its crippled value profile for the shooting. Next turn, yeah, it might do a lot more damage. And now we have one thing to see before the end of the turn. It's this apocalyptic air battle around the... Yeah, it's like the attack on the Death Star.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many SRS tokens are there trying to attack or defend.
22.
Yeah,
And I have
22
12.
against 12 with flag barrage. Yeah, we will do the interception rolls and see what is left at the end. So between the SRS token and the interception of the Stark Imperium itself, it's 44 dices of interception. We thought we would do it outside the camera, but 44 dice it's quite interesting always to see. So let's have a look. No rerolls at all. 44 dice of interception. Mais là, ils vont partir partout.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't want to use this trick.
Okay, let's have a look.
It's much better.
Okay, let's count all of this. So during the epic air battle, he managed to destroy 7 squadrons of brave British troops. However, I still have 15, which means 45 dice. They have weight of fire easily, so they reroll blanks. And since there is a majority of number 1 squadron, they are also sustained rerolling something else. Let's have a look. There is 1 die that fell down. It's too much for my little hand. And another one. Okay, we count, we reroll, and let's see. So this is what I get as a reroll between weight of fire and sustained. 12 explosive dice. And another 4 dice that are explosive. And another one. Okay, let's count all of this. That is a lot of rolls, but he had activated a storm generator, and we checked the rule. Actually, it doesn't say count this as simple, it says reroll all heavy hits. So might go very bad for me. I might get some good points still out of this. Let's have a look. Okay, 1 explosive from this, and then another explosive. Okay, so yeah, it got way worse, but still. At the end, it is 60 hits exactly, which means 9 times the armor, so 9 health point, plus 2 from the catastrophic explosion. That does 11 points of damage in total. He had 5 plus 6 in cripple. It is exactly what was needed to sink the Prince Eugen. So yeah, there was this huge air battle round, and it's Luke Skywalker from Scotland that just at the end managed to sink Prince Eugen at the last hull point, and this giant beast is going down. Woo! What a roll! So this is the end of the second turn. I did 2 jury repairs and did 2 explosive hits. Lucky for me, saving my victory and getting off the generator of line and going only back to red. Quite lucky here. It was risky. And here I did also a jury repair, losing a hull point, but going from the black level of disorder to the red. Now we will see if things happen and emerge from here or from there. First, let's have a look if it happens, and then we'll see what happens, what goes out, and who it will attack. So first roll for this. Nope. And second roll for this. Nope. Oh, good. It's a very classic scenario. So forth. Okay. First activation of the third turn, the Imperium has the initiative. He activated these Augustus coming here, declaring the broadsides on the Victory and hoping to do a boarding later. And all the heavy Augustus bombards are going on the Britannia. By the way, it's not activated anymore. And the special thing about the Guardian generators is that they are activated in your first special operation step, which means if you don't have the initiative, you cannot use any of your Guardian generator at all. So he is taking advantage of this rule that I cannot use any of my Guardian generators to do his big shooting attack. While I cannot counter it, it's one of the main weaknesses of the Crown. That's going to be 22 dices.
Yeah.
Devastating. So there are 2 explosives for this Augustus bombardment, and that's it. That is going to be 2 points of damage and a critical.
Which is automatically generator offline.
Yep, generator offline, so he could not use his Guardian generator to help himself, and his generators are immediately deactivated, so I lose 4 points of my Guardian generator pool. A bit sad. So the Augustus managed to do 3 points of damage in total on the Britannia between the critical and the torpedoes. Quite good. And now they did 1 point of damage with the broadside on the Victory. Good as well. Now they will try to board with all their might. Good roll. And he's burning a card, a victory card, to make a full reroll of everything that is left. 5 explosives in total. And another. Okay, so the Augustus did 19 hits on the boarding, on the victory. I have 20 dice of defense. It seems it will be a little bit difficult. I have 6, 8, 11. Yeah, he's dead and really dead. Is it gonna be an explosion? Nope, no explosion, but the victory died before he could do anything. No. My next activation has been the Albion, that actually repaired itself, as you can see. He did a ramming action destroying one of the Arminius. It was actually one of my cards, so I gained +2 victory points. And then he did a lot of like boarding, not boarding, the broadside on the right, doing a hull point on the Mesger. And all its weapons did a little bit of damage here and there around. Quite fine. I hoped for a little bit more, but at least I had 2 victory points. So everyone is dead here. There was a lot of shooting broadside to kill some Excalibur, and then they boarded the Albion, causing a magazine explosion that destroyed quite a few frigates and destroyers around, so everybody is on the brink of death. But there is no more crown units here, and I will unfortunately not be able to bring anybody in range for this turn. It's gonna be quite difficult, but such is the life. Disappointing activation from the Lancelot. They separated themselves because that was the only way I want to send them this way. This one shot all its gun batteries and stuff at the Munich, doing only 1 point of damage, sad. The torpedoes did nothing here. This one sent its heavy broadside here, doing nothing, and its heavy gun batteries, everything linked on the Mesger, doing only 1 point of damage. Yeah, a bit sad from the Lancelot, they didn't do much. The Metzger activated, staying in range of the island because he was afraid I would sink his 4 frigates, which is likely with the Britannia. He shot on the Lancelot, doing 1 point of damage. And then I activated my Morganas, going right in front of the Conrad. They will shoot their heavy torpedo salvos in front of the on the Conrad in front of them. And they have rear torpedoes. Just on the angle here is the Oshmeister. It's small torpedo turrets, and while he's there, well, I usually never use them, so I will shoot them as well. 19 dices from the Morganas on the Conrad in front. No rerolls of any kind. Eh ben, that is already 5 explosives. Okay, so it is 18 hits after the 3 defenses that he rolled. That is going to be 3 hull points gone for the Conrad, and 1 critical roll, which is going to be an explosion. So a 4th point of damage for the Conrad. He goes crippled. And now the rear attack of the torpedoes on the Oshmeister. He has armor 8. I have 12 dices, but I have Giant Slayer, so I reroll blanks. I reroll the blank. Okay, 1 explosive. 11, that is going to be a single point of damage. Oh yeah, -1, but still, yeah, but still a single point of damage. Still good, we'll take it. The Britannia fights for the honor of the British. I actually activated a card to make a 2nd activation in a row. This is some of the most powerful cards you can have in your deck. So 2nd activation straight away. I also used heavy firepower to give everything on the Mesger. I'm losing dices. What happened here is that I sank one of the Arminius with torpedo salvo, another one with heavy broadside, and now I link with heavy firepower 30 dice on the Metzger. Let's have a look. 30 dices on the Metzger, let's hope. So 5 explosive hits, doing another explosive. So the Britannia did 33 hits, causing 6 points of damage on the Metzger, killing it outright, and he does an explosion. So 1 less. This one is worth 4 victory points. So good job, little one. However, I played all my cards, and this is it for the activations of the crown for this turn. Let's have a look at everything that the Imperium will do. The Conrad activated for the last activation of the Imperium because the Oshmeister was scared and ran away.
Strategic redeployment.
Yeah. But it was good. He did a point of damage on the Morgana with his broadside, and he did quite some damage on the Lancelot with his boarding. It was really, really powerful, doing 2 points of damage, bringing him directly to the black. And burning aircraft carrier is apparently very good at boarding still. He put 2 aircrafts on the Morgana. We will resolve this activation now, and it will be the end of the third turn. End of turn 3, a little jury repair on the Lancelot there. A point of damage with piercing, doing critical damage on the Morgana from the aircrafts. Quite a good roll from them. And that is the end of turn 3. The Imperium has 23 points against 18 points for the Crown, but the Crown has better map presence. So it's going to be very, very tough for the fourth turn. But what can actually change everything is the random events of life. We will see if a massive Covenant force emerges. I planned it for the first turns, but if they appear here, it might do a lot of damage. You roll first for this. It needs to be a counter. No. Apparently no. It's going to be a very classical scenario. Yeah, nope. No Covenant coming. Ever. Okay, very well. Let's meet at the beginning of the fourth turn. The Augustus did their thing, finally doing 1 point of damage on the Morgana with their torpedoes. And then I'm burning a lot of cards. First, I'm doing this one to immediately remove this before I activate. It allows me to actually be able to gain my 4 Guardian Generator points. This will help. Very good. Then, this is what I will do later. I will also, I will also remove a single condition token. So we consider it in our gaming group as going from one level to the one below, otherwise it would be way too powerful. So I'm going from the black to the red. It will allow me to link better my weapons. So that's already done. And then I will try to finish off this single frigate. First of all, I will gain a victory point because of this card. Then another victory point because I finish off a squadron. And then I prevent him from scoring by being next to this island. So quite important thing. That I will do this, and maybe even another victory point from here. A lot of cards being burned, but I don't have that many activations. I need the points now to catch back the Imperium. Well, the Britannia is really, really bad. All its firepower and everything, it did a single point of damage on the Arminius between the heavy gun batteries, the heavy broadside at point blank, the boarding. Nope, nothing. And he was so bad that he went back to the black level of disorder with the boarding. Yeah, he doesn't deserve to survive this game.
Probably not. And you probably won't.
The surviving Arminius is going to hide behind the island, and yeah, we calculate that's probably going to be the difference between the two fleets at the end, because he's going to earn 4 points from this. I lost 2 points, victory points that I could have between my cards, and 3 points actually, including the killing the squadron. So yeah, bad roll from the Britannia. Is a shame for the whole of Britain. However, I can activate now. I will try to do a ramming action like this on this little Conrad, getting closer to the objective, and yeah, hopefully it will do a little bit better. This guy is also gonna go there to help. Okay, the Lancelots did a little bit more pride to the British. They managed doing everything to kill the Conrad here between a ramming action, and then he pivoted. Most of their firepower went on the Conrad, and I declared the heavy gun batteries on this Augustus that I could not see at the moment. However, when I finished killing the Conrad, the line of sight was open, and I did manage to cripple the Conrad, which means I gained 1 point of victory from killing the Conrad, and also removing him from this objective is good for me. Then, crippling an enemy unit I had twice, giving me 2 more victory points, and finally destroying an enemy unit. So that is 4 victory points from this single activation, and even a little bit more when you consider actually what I got from the delta of preventing him from scoring. So yeah, quite good from the Lancelot. Very happy. The Munich aerial destroyer came here, destroying the Morgana with a shooting attack, and then crippling and putting to chaos and disarray the Lancelot with a boarding action. Quite good for a mass one. The Auschmeister emerged from the depth here, ramming the Britannia and killing it in a single ramming action. It gives him a point because he destroyed a flagship, and another point because he needed from this card to destroy an enemy unit. So that's it for the turn 3. The Imperium is leading through points. The Crown gets 4 points here, and because of the little frigate, 4 points there for the Imperium. We will just roll to see if something happens. Basically, if Covenant ships arrive, they will just obliterate what is around, maybe. So on my side, nothing, and on the other side, nothing. Okay,
Excellent.
nothing happened. Okay.
Covenant
Yeah.
is peaceful.
Yeah, they're they don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it for turn 3. We'll see. Turn 4 should be extremely fast. The Lancelot activated well, giving me 2 victory points by destroying the Munich that was here. So I finished a squadron, and I had a victory card asking me to destroy a mass 1 unit with shooting. So that is good. Then I killed the Augustus with some torpedoes that was there. Only 1 is left. And I had another card like this, giving me extra activations. So that is very well. I will use it to get my Morgana closer. I used this card, Valor Effect, -1 Citadel on this guy, because the other one I cannot use it anymore. And we will see. Hopefully I can destroy it in 1 shot. Yeah, I don't believe in this. But let's try to do a little bit of damage. So the Morgana activated, doing 2 points of damage on the Augustus. And that is going to be the end of my turn 4. Probably the Imperium is winning through points, but at least it's a close battle all the way until the end. The Augustus did quite a lot. He did a boarding action on the Lancelot, crippling it. Although it was already crippled, but putting it to chaos and disarray and shutting down its generator. For shame. But yeah, the Prussians are really good at boarding. So the Imperium has the initiative. Last time we tried to see if some Covenant will emerge. Here, 1 roll. It needs to be a counter or a heavy counter.
Oh,
Finally!
yeah,
Okay. And I will just roll here.
No,
maybe.
no.
Yay! Okay. Finally, the Covenant arrived on the 5th turn. So we have a little system to count what type of unit appears and who gets to drop the unit. So here it was a Quintilian that Zongo chose to deploy here because he had the choice, we roll it with the dice, of where to drop it, and he attacks the closest unit nearby in line of sight. So here he doesn't see imagine here, he does not see the Arminius frigate, but the closest unit in line of sight is here, so he will do his attack, counting unexpected arrival, so crippled, on the Lancelot. I don't have any Guardian generators anymore to protect Sucks to be me. And here I got to choose where to drop this little guy. So I dropped it here, and he's just going to come around there. So that is going to be interesting to say the least. And we will resolve the different attacks. Just a thing, this guy will stay there for the 5th turn. So yeah, I will have to handle it. The Quintilian did a lot of firepower here, sinking the already crippled Lancelot. And the Lotan absolutely obliterated in a ramming action the Conrad. So this is 2 less points of victory for the Imperium. Not sure it's gonna make a huge difference, but now I have this huge monster to handle, and this little guy here will probably, like, no matter how it's turned, it's gonna come for me to try to shoot me again. So gonna be tough. Let's go for the 5th and final turn. My first activation is here because the Imperium had the initiative, but he just kept hiding his Arminius frigate. So what he's gonna do, this little Lancelot, he did a ramming action here. It's 16 dices with piercing. Hopefully it will already do, yes, oh putain. So 5 explosive hits. And another 2. 1, 2. Very good. That is 24 hits for the Lotan. So this is a catastrophic explosion for the Lotan, and he loses 6 hull points. Very good. Well then, it is perfect, and it is destroyed in a single activation. Very well. Activation now of the Quintilian, which doesn't see the frigate, so he's going straight for the Lancelot. We did the limited munition, he did double blank, so both of his cyclonic missiles are out of munition. Now he's gonna do his seeker missiles.
It's homing.
Yeah, good, lucky for him. One explosive. Okay, so look at C7, 7 hits. I have ADV, sorry, for this. -2, so 5 doesn't make a point of damage. And now the homing torpedoes. Good for him that he is sustained. 2 explosives. Sorry, 7 again. And I have only 4 dices. 5, still the same. So, also protected. Well, very well. He held good, the enemy barrage. Very well, I'm very happy. And now, last activation of the Imperium, the Oshmeister appears. It's gonna be a painful time for the Lancelot. No! The ramming action left the Lancelot with 1 hull point only. And so that is quite tough. The shooting action, I used my last Guardian generator point to reduce the shooting action, did nothing. And now he's going to board. Little mistake we made. There actually the Lancelot had a generator offline at the moment of the shooting because he was rammed with a voltaic action. We did the dices again. It still did no points of damage. Now the boarding action.
Let's go.
18 dices.
Reroll the blanks.
Yes. Otherwise it would be difficult.
Still not a good roll.
So that is 17 dices for the Imperium. 17 hits. I need to make a good defense roll.
Which is what?
Which is fine. What do I have? I will turn this explosive in a heavy counter. This will make me only 5 points of difference. It's gonna be fine. It's going to be basically crippled, and that's gonna be it. So this is the end of the 5th turn. The Morgana did only little damage on the Oshmeister, and unfortunately the Lancelot was blocking a ramming action. Anyway. So this is a victory for the Imperium, 41 points for the Imperium, 35 points for the Crown. So not a cataclysmic victory, but still a good victory for the Imperium. So they did save their plundering from this area. And the Covenant somehow believed that only Crown ships were here for some reason. This was a nice game. Let's go right now for the debriefing.
And before we go to the debriefing, let's have a look at the outcome of both these battles. First of all, the 5th Fleet assault was broken by the Prussians. The carrier group led by the SMS Garnell did manage to breach the defensive line of the British, and thus the assault of the 5th Fleet on Kaiser's Pride was completely lost. The Kaiser Elector of the Prussians was used as a bait, and it did absorb a lot of the British firepower, while the rest of the carrier group was free to inflict heavy losses on the British, and thus allowing the carrier group to break through. What happened then is that the Prussian forces did manage to go through all the way here and land an invading force in this little island that was just recently colonized by the 5th Fleet. Thus, in this area, there is a lot of ground battles happening right now between the invading Prussians and the defensive forces of the Crown's 5th Fleet. The Prussians did not yet secure the island. Following the close but decisive victory against Task Force Mordred, Kaiser's Pride is now safe. The Task Force Mordred did just manage to acquire a little bit more lands around here and did secure this little island as a little reward for their hard-fought battle. But here, the Imperium and the Prussians especially did secure the entirety of this island now, and now pushing a little bit eastward. Of course, following the attack of the Covenant, the Task Force Mordred is now in a quite tense situation with the Covenant. They do consider now that the Covenant was allied with the Imperium, even though it was obviously not the case since they attacked the Scandinavians, and there might be some reprisal actions soon. Now the Imperium is not in the back foot anymore, and the following battles will really determine who becomes the master of the eastern part of the Archipelago Alpha. Now that we've seen the outcome of both these battles, let's go to the debriefing.
So this is the end of the game. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed playing it. It was very interesting.
Yeah, really good game.
Yeah, it was very fun. We always love to play this game. Victory for the Imperium.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end, nobody had anything left on the table. What did you think of your release? How it were played? How it happened?
I think, well, first, at the end of the first turn, I was really sure I was going to lose.
Yeah.
And so I decided to score as much points as possible, which was the right decision in the end.
Yeah.
I could be scoreboard almost the whole game.
Okay.
About the list, I was really pleased with the aerial units. The Stark Imperium and the Munich Destroyer.
Yeah, very
They really
powerful.
have a really powerful, much impact. Even one single Munich Destroyer still had a really good punch. I'm pleased with the robots as well. They're really fun to play. They're beautiful models. I like to really cinematic models.
Yeah, they're very hard to catch.
Boarding edition.
Yeah, they slaughtered the victory, then they came around, killed the Britannia as well. Very good hunters.
Yeah, maybe my main concern is that you can't do much when you're facing these things, you know?
Right.
Yeah, they just appear and they work havoc in your lines and they destroy a carrier, a big unit, and there's not much you can do. So, game sense wise, you know, it's
it's not very interactive. Like, it happens to you, it's like, okay, well, okay, you kill me with ramming, not much to do.
I mean, it's okay when you have 1 or 2 units in a big game, but imagine someone bringing 5 robots in a 1,000 point game. What can you do?
It would be difficult. It would be interesting to see units that like deny, like you cannot deep strike around them, like something like this, to give some options to protect against this. Would be nice, but anyway, they are still very fun, very cinematic, and very cool.
Yeah, really cool model.
Yeah.
With the Augustus as well, you did the right thing by targeting them the first turn. But still, I had 2 and they had a really powerful impact on the game. They probably provide the turning point when they shot the Britannia.
I was really sad that I could not use my generator points because I would have a lot to cancel this attack. And since you cannot use the Guardian generator if you don't have the initiative, which is a bit weird, well, then they crippled the Britannia, stopping the generator from being generated.
Yeah, maybe 2 consecutive turns I did the same thing.
Yeah, so
I shot the Britannia
it is very powerful, but oh well.
That's the rules.
Yeah. And it was interesting. For the British side, quite like I'm always very happy of the Morganas and the Excalibur doing a lot of work. Britannia quite good as well. Solid good battleship, not as good as a Borodino of course, but then again, who is? A bit disappointed of the victory, and the Hotspurs, like the carriers, are very fragile now with this latest Orbat. Not sure I would bring as many as always. You really need to hide them because they would really get crippled fast. But if you hide them, well, you don't go to the center of the objective.
Yeah, it's an expensive unit.
Yeah,
and you wanted to pay for it.
Especially the victory gets crippled relatively fast. Like a single robot can cripple it in a single ramming anyway. And anyway,
again, there's nothing
and you cannot do like turn 2, you will be crippled, no matter what you do. So it's a bit sad because the victory is a nice model, but it's nice to bring it on the table. Anyway, this was a very interesting game. We hope that you liked it. If you did, give us a thumbs up. Tell us in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like, what you would like to see next as a type of battle. And until the next video, remember to keep spreading the love all around you. Bisous.